Hello, everyone. I'm Derek L. Mitchell, and welcome to episode 9 of the Fearless Factory. Thank you for joining me, and today I'm talking about the fear of the storm. Now, I don't mean a hurricane or a tornado or the thunder and lightning. I'm talking about those times in our lives where things are much more difficult and challenging than anything else that we have experienced. I'm talking about when it seems like a force of nature that is completely beyond your control comes out of thin air and threatens things that you have worked hard for, threatens people that you care about, and threatens your quality of life. Those are the kinds of storms that I'm talking about, and we all have experienced the O's at some point in our lives. Now, I want to talk about a few areas to consider if you are currently in a storm or coming out of a storm. And those are the purpose of a storm and the outcome of a storm. But before I get into those topics, I have to adjust your expectations and talk about the realities of the storm. Now, before you go and try and tackle the storm that is coming your way or that you're currently in, I need to sober up your expectations around the storm. There are some realities that you need to come to terms with in order to successfully come out of a storm better than you went in. And the first one is that it rains on everyone. Everyone goes through a storm at some point in their life. I don't care how much money you have, who your parents are, what kind of family you grew up in, which part of the town that you were raised in, which country you were born in, the types of connections that you have, your amount of resources at your disposal, or how intelligent you are. Doesn't matter. Every single person goes through a storm at some point in their lives, and that is a fact. And the more willingly that you are to accept that, then the better equipped you will be to face and to come out of a storm. Second is that storms are not permanent. Storms do not come to stay, they come to pass. So whatever it is that you are or will go through in your life, it will not last for ever. And that point will be very important a bit later in this episode. But just keep in mind, storms have not come to stay, but to pass. 3, storms are unavoidable. When I say storms, I mean things that are completely out of your influence and control. There is no way to think yourself around the storm, maneuver over a storm, or to avoid it. These are unavoidable situations in life that you just must face and go through. And lastly, every storm has a purpose. And you finding purpose in the storm affects the outcome of the storm. And those are just the realities of it. So once you accept those realities of the storm, next thing is, how do you get through it? The only way to get through a storm is to weather the storm.
You see what I mean by staying focused and positive, what it'll do for you?
It's incredible.
Even when it's storming. Yo, you know how many storms I've been through in my life? No, I'm talking about real storms. Forget money situations. That's like a joke to me, a money situation, because I'm going to get it regardless. Even if tomorrow, it all go tomorrow, I'm going to get back up and get it. That's called hustling. It's called working hard. No excuses. But I'm talking about real life storms. You know what? I've been through some you know what I'm saying? And that's why I give thanks every single day. What I'm trying to tell you is the key is to weather the storm. And that's what I mean. Don't fold.
Weather the storms that come your way in life. You have to just maintain and don't give up and wait it out. Now, it might not be impressive or pretty, but as long as you can survive and come out on the other side intact, you'll be okay. But just don't give up. Don't fold under the pressure and weight and devastation of the storm. As long as you can do that, then you can and will be all right when it passes and when you come out on the other side. Once the storm has passed, then that's when it's time to dust yourself off, pick up the pieces, and find a purpose in the storm in order to move forward and come out better than when you went in. You have to find the purpose in the storm in order to make good use of it. The only thing that a storm that you can't find any reason or purpose in will serve in your life is just another event. It will just amount to a situation or a circumstance that caused some disruption in your life and that lasted for a period of time and was over. And that's it. And it's something that will eat away at you and eventually cause some bitterness to develop and accumulate in your life. So don't waste the storm. You have already endured the pain and the inconvenience and the disruption of that storm, get something out of it. Find a silver lining and a purpose in that storm. I know some people who have gone through some tough things in life and say, you know what? There is nothing good or of any value that came out of that situation. So it's something that just happened, and that they can't find any good or positivity in, and it stays with them. They are bitter about it because they can't get over what they lost in that storm. So find a purpose in the storm. I know when I went through a particular storm in my life, I couldn't figure out why that was happening. I didn't feel any smarter or any more skilled or capable as a result of it, until I had a conversation with my father about what I was still in the midst of. And after I explained what I was experiencing and how I felt about it, I heard something in his voice that surprised me. And I heard respect in his voice as he told me that he has seen a lot of growth in my character and integrity as a result of what I went through. And at that point in time, I understood that the purpose in that storm that I was going through was nothing that was so complicated as far as setting me up for an opportunity in the future or a part of this grand scheme or plan, but it was just to make me stronger as a person, to build up my endurance, my resilience in life to handle that storm, and to prepare me for more storms that will inevitably come. And in the end, what I learned is that storm helped me build up more grit, Grit, or greater resilience in turmoil. It helped to build me up to be able to take more of life's challenges and difficult times. And that may be the simple reason and value in your storm is to build you up. It's to build up your strength, your endurance, your resilience, your grit, to make you a stronger person to be able to ace more of life's challenges, which in the end will ultimately help you to reach any goal in on your life that will undoubtedly require you to face down and conquer some obstacles and challenges. Now, the outcome of the storm is up to you. You had no control over and no choice in what storm came through your life. But what you do have is a choice over what the outcome is. And the first step to dictating the outcome of the storm is finding the purpose or not finding it. So I've already have talked about finding the purpose in the storm, and how that will empower you to realize how it can make you better, and how it can empower you to find the opportunity that the storm has left behind. But what if you absolutely cannot find a purpose in the storms that you have been through? Well, then you will be stuck in the fallout of that storm. Just think about the footage of storm damage that you've seen after a tornado or a tropical storm. You see the camera crews. They go and talk to all the residents that have been affected, and they always say that we're gonna either we will rebuild in this spot or in another, but they always say that we will definitely pick ourselves up and we will rebuild our lives. Well, if you cannot find any purpose or value in your storm, you can't rebuild anything. What would you think if a year after a storm, you go back to the same place that was hit and see the same the debris and wreckage there, and see people that are living in the fallout of that storm, same place, year after? You would think that these people are insane, but we do that mentally and emotionally. Live in the fallout of storms that have long passed, years, decades ago, still living in the same mental, emotional, and spiritual fallout that's been there for all these years. Why are you still there? And why is it so acceptable for us to live in that condition, but not acceptable to live in the physical fallout of a natural storm? Why is that? That is exactly where you will stay if you do not find the opportunity and the purpose in your storm. If I could not find the opportunity and purpose in having a stutter, I would still be stuck in those same negative experiences that I've been through, that today aren't as negative or aren't negative at all, because I have found a value, a use, and a purpose for everything that has taken place in my life. And I encourage you to do the exact same thing, because if you don't, you will find yourself living and dwelling in the wreckage of a storm that has long since passed and that has long since been forgotten by everyone else but you. And don't forget, while the storm may not have been your choice, the outcome is up to you. Don't waste the storm that you've already endured and been through by not controlling the outcome. If you've already been through it, then get something out of it. And if you can understand the realities, purpose, and control the outcome of the storm, then you can conquer fear, claim confidence, find your voice, and live your life to its fullest. And I will see you on the next episode of The Fearless Factory.